Welcome to the AI Search Files. My name is Rice, and this is Similarweb's channel where we dig into the hot and debated topics shaping AI search. Today, I have Dror with me here today, who is the Senior AI Product Manager behind AI Search Intelligence. And we're going to dig into one of the most contested topics in AI search right now, which is prompt volume. So, Dror, first of all, can you quickly talk about what is prompt volume and why are people so fixated on it?
Sure, Rice. First, as we're building the AI search intelligence at Similarweb, prompt volume is the number one question we get on customer calls. And let's first understand why it's so important, right? So to go back to recent history, the days of Google, as an SEO, I would track the keyword volume to understand where the demand is, what should I prioritize, right? Super critical, and be able to justify the budgets I'm asking, right? And today, what do? Right? So it's really understandable why this is such a huge need and ask from the community.
Prompt volume sounds really useful, but why is it not necessarily a good metric to measure, and why is it challenging to use?
Right. So let's talk about the challenge for a second. Again, let's talk about Google first. Google does provide their monthly search volume. They are focusing on helping advertising with their bidding, and even then they don't do the long tail, right? There's very unique and niche keywords, and they also don't go for the more informational ones, right? This is what they're focused on. And now when when we think about LLMs, every prompt is unique, right? You wouldn't write the same prompt twice. And they're unique in three different ways. One is that they're longer and free text. Second is that the user's expectations are different. They want answers. They don't want access to information. And third is that basically it's a multi-turn conversation when context carries over from the beginning and builds on the user itself, making what you see on the prompt just half of the picture of what the LLM sees when it tries to answer the question. So this makes it really hard to gather volume. And what you could do is aggregate prompts into representative prompts, still giving each its volume will be a very difficult challenge.
Sometimes I hear people thinking of using keyword volume as a reference for prompt volume. Do you think that is feasible?
So first, let me address the big pain point. When you lost your key metric, you would go for very creative alternatives. And using keyword as a proxy sounds very legit, right? You see how many times it shows up on Google. You would create a prompt that is based on that keyword or prompt, and then you say that this should be the same directionality. The difficulties come with the skew of how do you break down a keyword into the relevant prompts. Let's take an example, right? Hotels, Paris, classic keywords. It could be on ChatGPT. It would be something like, I'm on my honeymoon, looking for a sweet spot to stay 3 nights, not a party hotel, romantic. And it could also be, we're a 50 developer team doing our offsite, looking for a place in Paris, 180 euros per room per night. Both are under the same keyword, but represent a completely different need and will get completely different citations and answers. Going back to keywords, how do you break down that keyword into different prompts? This is the bigger challenge, and how do you spend that budget across very unique and niche intents? So while one could be using that, it's very important to be wary of not going too far into vanity metrics that may make you feel comfortable like you have that compass, but in reality, it's way more complicated than that.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So if keyword volume isn't a good reference and we don't really have prompt volume, like what is a good framework that people can use to prioritize their AEO strategy?
So, and I think this is the question, right? If individual prompts are impossible to track over time, what is the right level of clustering that makes sense? First, I would start with topics, right? Topics are solid, they don't fluctuate too much, and you can definitely do two things. One is compare them over time and see if they're growing or declining as a representative of the demand. Second, you could compare across different topics to prioritize which one has the more immediate impact if you target it. Second, you can go one level deeper into subtopics and intents. Again, this would make it a bit more challenging. However, going at the prompt level would not be advised. I would say don't chase individual prompts. Sometimes it's easier to do and it kind of reminds you of the good old keywords, but in reality, you should focus on the forest and not on these very unique trees.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Dror. And talking about prompt volume. So if you want to learn more about AI search and stay on top of what's happening in the industry, this is the place for you to be. And we're going to invite more guests and talk about topics in AI search. So stay tuned if you're interested. Thank you.